Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Best Friends by Design podcast. We are your hosts, Janet.
And I'm Giselle.
And we are going to have a fun episode today, actually. Something that we just did. We took a personality test, the Myers-Briggs personality test. If you're interested, you can actually take the test on 16personalities.com. It's free, and it's going to ask you like really cool questions that make you really think about them, but answer them, like take your time, answer them. But there's 16 different psychological personality traits, and they narrow you down in 4 categories. So each person has their own personality traits. So we both took this test because we were curious to see what our compatibility was, what makes us different, what makes us tick. And actually this test, a lot of employers give their prospective employees.
Yeah.
And I think it's great even for relationships, like just to get to know your partner a little better.
Absolutely. This actually our design associate took the test when she was working at Marc Jacobs in New York.
Oh, of course.
And it was something they did because depending on your personality, you're able to if you work in a group setting, make sure that the group is compatible.
Yes.
And also how to guide them and how to reward them and what makes them feel heard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's different, so this is such a great thing for businesses as well.
Yeah, like what kind of problem solver are you?
Exactly.
That's important
Yeah.
with an employee and with the employer too. So it's good. It's like, kind of finding out what their sign is too.
Yeah.
That's important too.
Well, you know me, I love astrology.
I know.
We both do.
Yeah. So it was interesting because the two of us, we actually were I'm not surprised. We had a lot in common and we were compatible in many ways. The funny parts were where we're not like what makes us different was very interesting, and it's like spot on.
Yeah.
So like accurate, and it's just funny to us. So we wanted to share that with all of you. So the way they break it down is there's 4 areas of psychology, and I'm referring to my notes because it's a lot of information. How you're outwardly and inwardly focused, how you take in information, what type of decision maker are you, and how do you live your outer life? Meaning, how are you with other people and like your essence, basically. So I want to talk about like how different we are. So I am an INFJ. I'm an INFJ-T, and we'll talk about what the T stands for. And you're an ENFJ-A.
It sounds like a cryptocurrency or something
I
like
know.
that, doesn't it?
So let's talk about the A and the T. So
Okay.
the A and the T is assertive and turbulent. So wonder who's assertive? This one. Turbulent is myself. So yes, that is so accurate because you are like, you like to delegate.
I do.
You're comfortable delegating.
I'm very comfortable delegating.
You're comfortable like speaking your mind and being open and like
Really?
saying it how it is, where I'm more reserved, turbulent meaning reserved, more like observant, and I get stressed out and burnt out very easily. Like I'm a stress ball. So I thought that was interesting because that like kind of sums up really.
It does, and I think it makes us very compatible. In stressful situations, I tend to shine because I tend to block whatever emotion I have, and I just come into problem-solving mode. Like, what do we need to do to get out of this situation or overcome whatever we need to? And that I'm very methodical when it comes to that.
Is that your instant reaction though, or do you like have like a moment where you like kind of freeze and figure it out and process, or do you like instantly like click into like?
Most of the time, I want to say 99.9% of the time, I go into problem solving mode. Unless it's like super like emotional or something with my kids or my family,
Yeah.
and even then it's usually like I'm a late reactor. I tend to like process things in a later date, so I can't. Now the negative part about that is it could come off like I don't care, but I do care. It's just I'm like, okay, I gotta fix this.
Yeah.
That's what comes into my mind. And I put the responsibility on me, which isn't always great,
Right.
So part of what I've had to learn about my personality is to delegate and to communicate how I'm feeling, or if I'm feeling overwhelmed, that it's not a sign of weakness.
Yes. I have to have my internal meltdown first.
Oh, I know.
That makes me feel comfortable. Then it's like self-soothing almost.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, did that just happen? And I have to have like my moment, and then I kick into problem solving mode.
Yeah.
So it's different. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end, I do want to solve the problem because I am a
And
problem solver.
And you do solve
but I
the
just,
problem.
yeah, and I am a late reactor too. We both have that
We
in
both
common.
have that, yeah.
Yeah, like when you have a conversation with someone and they say something really shitty, and then it doesn't hit you right away,
No.
but then later, like hours later, you're like, that fucking bitch.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Really? Did she just say that? Like, wait a second. Like,
It's actually-
and you wish you would have like responded. I'm not an off the cuff responding person. I can do it hours later, but
I don't do well with people that like are chess players, that are very manipulative and
Yeah.
they like
Calculated.
calculated. I'm like, say what you want what you say. Like, I need a straight answer. If you're happy, show a happy face. If you're sad, show a sad face. But this like calculating, manipulating kind of thing, to me,
it's like narcissistic.
right.
Those are the people you got to be careful.
Those are
with.
the ones I stay away from.
Yeah.
And
But you don't know you're dealing with those people until they're in your life and they're
no,
like
I married one.
the ex.
The ex.
Oh, I was gonna say
Yeah, the ex, master manipulator. Now he probably doesn't see himself that way, but it's like just stop the bullshit. Just tell me what you want or how you want
Yeah.
it. Like, I don't do well with that. I like straight shooters.
Exactly. Keep it real and give me the bad news and tell me to my face if you have a problem with me.
Exactly.
And let's just handle it.
Exactly.
That's it. But that's what we have in common too. So that was interesting. Okay, so what we do have as a compatibility areas are how we take information in. So we're both very intuitive, not surprised.
Not surprised.
We see the big picture. We always see the big picture, like in any situation, like what this could be, which is good because
Well,
you're seeing,
think about it. As in, we chose interior design as what we do,
Yeah.
and we have to see the big picture as
Yeah.
interior designers. Like, that's kind of our
right?
superpower.
It's like having an imagination.
It
almost.
is, yeah.
Yeah. And we like to describe things in a figurative and poetic way. That's part also of being an interior designer.
Yes.
Because you're trying to help your clients imagine what you're seeing in your head, like in our imagination, what we see their space as. So we're like, trying to illustrate that with words, so you have to be poetic.
Well, because
And descriptive.
we're very intuitive, and with being intuitive and very descriptive. I don't know about you, but I like to have romanticize my life.
Yes.
And since we love to make everything beautiful and serene, I think we like the words to also kind of,
Yeah, definitely.
right, kind of describe what we're trying to evoke as a feeling in our interiors, and even the way we look.
Right.
Sometimes we want to feel more romantic and look more romantic, and we'll wear the white flowy things, and sometimes we want to look like badass bitches, so we
edgy.
so we'll wear our
black winged eyeliner. And
exactly. Right. So that's
Yeah. that makes sense. And then as decision makers, we're also we ranked the same. So we like to please others and point out the best in them.
I think that's a beautiful trait.
I think it's beautiful, and it's so true, because I always give everyone the benefit of the doubt. No matter what. Like, look, people, you can have a shitty day. You can be having a shitty week. You know, you never know what happened with that person that morning, if they had an argument, a fight, or something with their family, someone's ill. People process things in their lives differently, and maybe it's shutting down, or maybe it's being mean, or being reserved. You always have to have empathy for that person, because you don't know what they're going through. Yeah. And I'm very conscious of that,
So am I.
Yeah.
I'm really good at reading a room, and maybe probably too much, because since I'm an empath, what I've had to kind of work on is helping people but not internalizing their pain or their feelings,
and protecting your energy
and
at
protecting
the same
my
time.
energy. So when you so that's a big thing. But I can go into a room and I feel what's going on.
Right.
It's a lot of noise sometimes for me.
It is. It can be really intense.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever felt like, I don't know if I'm sure this has happened to you, when you feel, when you meet or you see somebody and you feel like they need a hug?
Oh, absolutely. And I give them a hug because I'm that.
I know, yeah.
Right. Because I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I'll be like, "Are you okay? Do you want a hug?" And they'll look at me like, ah! They should start crying.
I do need a hug. Yeah. But that's part of the having empathy for people, and being like, I mean, look, being so sensitive to people's energies, I think, is good and bad.
Yeah.
It's good because you have, you can share your light with someone when they need it.
Yeah.
It's bad when you're soaking up the negative energy that they're bringing out, and you're taking it in, and it's robbing you of your good energy. So, but I think it's great. I wouldn't change that about
I wouldn't
myself.
either. And what's interesting in the workplace is I'm going to have all our staff do this as well, but I kind of know them, in the sense I think I know which category they're all going to go to, because
But they're going to rank.
Yeah. Because I've been managing and having teams for so many years, you kind of get an idea of that. But when it comes to Brett, I've had to tell him, learn how to read a room, And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, because there's times that certain things are appropriate and certain things aren't,
Yeah.
Or you have to be more of a listener than a talker. That, Brett likes to sometimes explain things a lot, get super, super technical, but he hasn't taken into account that the person has ADD. And I could pick that up.
And they lost him 5 minutes ago.
20 minutes ago, usually. But that's when I'm like, you gotta, in order to be a good communicator and for people to listen, you have to read them well. If they are one of those people that you could tell by reading them that they have a very short attention span, which most people do.
Yeah.
You can't,
especially these days.
You can't go on and on about something. You need to also see what level they're at of comprehension. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that you talk down to people, but you can talk technical.
Bullet point it.
Yeah.
Get to the point, quick, move on to the next.
Yeah.
Unless they're asking for more explanation.
Exactly.
Wait. I guess pause and wait if they need to be more clear, and then you can go on and do the thing. But I think if they got it in the first minute or two, wrap it up. Next.
I also think too, because he's an only child, he didn't have siblings like I did. I'm one of four.
You're the middle.
And I was the middle for a long time until Gabby came into play. But I'm always used to having to maneuver with
Yeah.
siblings, and you have to. But he's not used to sharing or having to share even somebody's attention.
Right.
It was all,
Interesting.
yeah. So that I feel has a lot to do with communication, and it's something that I had to learn to communicate with him and say, hey, with not offending him. Hey,
Yeah.
like, listen, this is your way of doing it, but why don't you try this?
Yeah.
Or be more observant of other people's dynamics.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And probably because I'm a people pleaser. I bet you he's not such a big people pleaser as I am. Since I'm a people pleaser,
Brett is not a people pleaser.
Not at all.
He doesn't give two shits. He's like, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Like, too bad for you.
Exactly.
Like, I have a lot to say, and you can learn from me.
He's the professor.
Right, he is. And then also another point that we had compatible is how we live our outer lives. So we are judging. We don't judge.
But hold on.
We don't judge. We don't
What's the
judge.
real meaning of the judging?
No, it sounds negative, but it's not. We prefer to have matters settled. Like back to what we were saying before, like if there's an issue, let's settle this. Let's not like leave. Let's not sweep it under the rug and pretend like it doesn't exist. The elephant in the room. Let's just handle it. You know, let's solve whatever is the issue here, which I think is very proactive too. It's very positive, and rules and deadlines should be respected. I'm a rule and a deadline girl.
Oh, so am I.
Like I love instructions. Like, how does something happen? How does it get done? You know, how is it executed?
Yeah.
And just make it happen, you know, which is good. And when someone's making plans or when you're planning something, we like plans. We like things like set, you know, not up in the air. I'm not like a, you know, happy-go-lucky. I mean, I am happy, but meaning like I'm not a, you know, go with the flow kind of person. Like,
Yeah.
Are you spontaneous?
I can be spontaneous. Like if somebody calls me, hey, let's go do something real, I will do that, you know?
Yeah.
But
So if somebody let's say someone plans a girls trip and you've never, like, you don't know the hotel. You don't know, like they'll plan it all and you don't know this, you know, it's not your significant other that knows you and knows what you like and the standard of the types of hotels you like to stay at and the, you know, the little, you know, the little
bathroom, my bathroom
all of that,
requirements,
and the closet requirement, you know.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Or are you going to be the one that's going to Google the hotel and check it out and look at what you're getting into?
No. So in my younger years, I was more like, okay, let's just do it. After doing those girl trips and going to hotels and then saying, sorry, you know what? Let's move to another hotel.
I'll pay for it.
I totally did that.
Oh my God.
I did that. We went to Mexico on a girl trip. Oh my God. And I know the girlfriends that I went with are going to listen to this podcast. Yes. But I upgraded us.
Were they happy at the end?
I hope so. I'm sure.
I'm sure they were.
But my thing is, like, I don't know. I think at a certain level, like, I've done the, like, you know, the budget
Watch
thing.
out.
I know. I have to be careful. Okay, I'm bougie. What do you want from me? I'm a people pleaser, but I'm bougie.
Girl, there is nothing wrong with that.
I think I've earned it.
You've earned that shit.
I've earned it.
Don't be afraid.
So now
honor it.
So nowadays I will look at the hotel. It's so funny because I do go traveling with another group of friends, and they travel a lot. So
Yeah.
their priority isn't to stay like at the nicest hotels. I don't travel as much as they do, but when we're together, they know that for me, the hotel is part of the experience.
Definitely.
But it's
especially with what we do. I mean, this is all about aesthetics and where you sleep, where you, like, I don't care if I'm only going to be in the hotel room for like 2 hours, like, or just to sleep in. But like to wake up, that's an experience in itself. To wake up in a different country or like, you know, and in a new surrounding, you just want to wake up and feel good where you're at, especially when your home is beautiful. When you travel, it should be how you live or better. That's how I
Amen.
see it.
Amen.
That's how I see it.
Amen. Amen. So yes, to answer your question is now I will do the research. I will check it out. Because hello,
Yeah.
it's part of my DNA. I
hear
have
you.
to. But I have to say you do more research than I do.
Yes, I am a Googler.
Yeah. I am like
Yeah, I look everything up.
I mean, I look things
There's
up.
so much
But let's say
information.
if we're getting work done on us, I trust you more to do the research on the procedure and all of that. I lose patience with that. I'm like, just fix me. Just fix me, fill me,
No,
whatever.
I'm like, I have to trust you with my face.
I know. You're better at that. And
Yeah, no, that's really
I have
important.
no
It's okay.
patience.
I'm fine with doing that research for us.
I know.
I'm totally okay with that.
And I lean on that. And
Yeah.
I lean on Brett doing some research too because he's so analytical and he does the research. So I know
Brett has that.
Brett major.
I'd like
major.
to see how he scores on this
You know
test.
what? I'm gonna have him take the test. It'll be extremely entertaining, even though I know what it's gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, you already know.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And Surprise, you're extroverted and I'm introverted. What a shocker.
What a shocker. Yeah.
What a shocker. And I looked into it a little more, like, what does that really mean? And it's just, you value having different outlets
I do.
of whether it even be like friend groups, where I want my, like, just like that one person that I could like tell all my secrets to. And
That's
like,
me.
and just be like, know everything and be an
Yeah.
open book and like just have more of a like closer, intimate, more like, just direct connection to.
Yeah.
And that's what it boils down to. Like, and even like, in social settings too. Like, I'd rather sit next to my BFF somewhere
Yeah.
and like than have like a table full of people. Like, it just,
But
for me, it fills me more.
It does, but I've pushed you to talk to other people and kind of
Yeah.
network.
Yeah.
And you always enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
But I'm always like,
I know, but we do that. We go do our little
Right.
networking thing, and then we come back together.
Yeah.
But I think it's such a good thing for you, and you always enjoy it, and you always get something out of it.
yeah.
So I push you, and we both push each other, and that's the beauty about being different, but having like a common ground is that you don't want a friend that just yeses you or
No.
keeps you in your comfort zone. You put
Right.
me in check all the
Yeah.
time, and I
Yeah.
like that about you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're not honest with me, who is? It's a good thing.
We're mirrors.
Mirrors, yeah.
Yeah.
And I trust what you're saying comes from a loving, good place. And I think you do too. So it's like it comes from authentic. We want to grow. We want to continue to see each other evolve. And that's part of our personality too. I was reading about that.
Mm-hmm.
That we are always on this quest to making ourselves better, to grow, to improving. It's part of who we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Always looking at like what else is possible.
Yeah. I think they're beautiful traits.
I think so too. And I think that it's good for people to just, I don't know, it's things we already know about ourselves, but it's nice to just like, I don't know, see it and recognize it and just, I love the fact I'm going to have many people take this test.
Well, I'm going to have the boys take it because
Yeah.
they utilize this test also for like people who are trying to figure out their careers. Mm-hmm. Because depending on what personality you are, you could be better at certain careers
Or
than
creative or more analytical.
and how you would work in like a company setting. So let's say you're going out for a job and you're seeing the way they work. Maybe it's more of a individual, private on the desktop versus a group setting, and everybody works differently. Some people do work from home. Maybe that's not for you if you're an extrovert and find fulfillment in getting validation from the interaction of other people.
I mean, I'm an introvert and I hate it. I mean, working from home, not that I hated it. I do like it and I still like miss it sometimes. There's a comfort level to it, but you do get cabin fever, and you need to get out and see people and like talk to people and socialize.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that day in and day out.
No.
A lot of companies now since COVID are offering that. Employees want that. Like people, from having to go home and work from home during all of 2020, now they don't want to go back to the workplace. They don't want to drive. They don't want to deal with traffic. They don't want to deal with people. They want to be in the comfort of their home. So a lot of companies are now offering that to
And they're
a lot
being
of
more flexible.
They are. They're being flexible. But I mean, it depends on the industry, right?
Right,
Some
yeah.
industries, it's not like, okay, Zoom call industry. Like ours isn't a Zoom call. And I mean, we can
Certain
with
positions.
clients.
Well,
yeah.
certain positions, like
Yeah.
I think certain positions you could definitely outsource, or you could work partly from home.
Yeah. A design assistant.
I think if you're maybe doing more like CAD work,
Yes. A drafter, definitely.
a drafter, yeah.
But a design assistant or a junior designer.
I prefer working. I think my preference is to have our employees working with us. I think that I've tried different ways. We did during COVID, the whole like working from home, and I personally think there's a disconnect. The way I like to build our team is, vendor presentations, working together, teaching them.
Yeah.
It's
the company culture,
yeah,
too.
It is.
You lose that when it's like all virtual and you're behind a screen.
But some people are work better that way. They don't work well with people, and there is positions that are good for that. And that's my point with like if you really are you looking for a new career path, because a lot of people our age are looking to do a different career path, is like this is probably a good test for them to take to see what they really want to do and what they would be compatible doing.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic test for many different ways, whether it is to get to know yourself better, or in a work scenario
For your partner better.
For your partner. I mean, all around, I think it's a great test. I highly
Agreed.
I think we both
Yeah.
highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It was really
yeah.
interesting.
And it's fun.
It is.
It's nice
a lot
to
of
get
fun.
to know yourself a little bit more.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
would even do this like as a thing to do with your friends. Like, hey, maybe send it earlier in the week, and then when you get together for like game night or whatever,
Yeah.
that's something that you can do. It's probably really funny too.
Right.
To be like,
You're turbulent. You're a crybaby.
exactly. It's funny.
Oh my God.
I would totally turn that into a game. It's
Yeah.
cute. It's really cute.
Yeah. So that was fun.
So guys, go online, take the test, do something fun, and it's really informative too. I think it was a really
Yeah. To learn a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So thanks for joining in and for being here. And if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a like. And we are now on Apple iTunes podcast. So we're really excited. So if you listen to your podcast on Apple, please subscribe to us or follow us. I think it's follow or subscribe. I don't know. I can't remember. But Spotify, Apple, YouTube, follow us wherever you want to listen to us or watch. So thank you so much for your support and for supporting our channel.
Till next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.